Hey, everybody. This is the Team Empower call for the week. And I wanted to just let you guys know my name is Niki Whiting, and I will be leading the call and also guest speaking on the call. And this is a pre-recorded call. So everybody should be able to hop on, catch the recording, send it to your teams, whatever you feel like you need to do. But I am so excited to be here. I feel definitely honored to have had Mindy ask me to be on this call. So thank you guys for joining and listening in. So I originally was going to talk on Instagram, and I feel like there's been a lot of Instagram training lately. And so one thing that I feel passionate about is taking ownership in your business and just figuring out what you need to do versus what you say you're going to do. Because many times when I meet coaches or anyone in direct sales in general, they tend to say a lot of things that they want to do, say a lot of things that they have goals with, but there's no reverse engineering. There's no actual broken down plan outside of a vision board, which is a great start. But I feel like there's so much more that you need to dive into in depth on something like that. So I wanted to talk to you guys in that tonight a little bit about some just top 10 tips really that I have for the business in general, but a lot of it will be focused on taking control of your business. And I want to start with the question, would you fire you? If you were in a corporate job and this were your corporate job and the way you show up every single day, maybe the way that you are being present in the time that you do spend with your business, the amount of activity you have with your business, the actual productive time that you're spending with your business, your recruiting, hitting your goals, all the things that, a corporation would definitely require. If you're wanting to truly build a big business, then you need to be your own boss and give yourself a gut check on the times when you really do feel like, okay, I could have done better with this, or I was terrible this month with keeping up with my recruiting. I didn't get the numbers I wanted, and that's because of XYZ. And I'll be honest, there's been a couple of months where I've said, if I were my own CEO, I would be like, what are you doing? Because I got in a season of flow where there's this hustle and this flow. And it was right after the baby, and I allowed myself to really get in a season of just settling and being okay with the team I had and not worrying about finding anyone new and depending on the people who got me to 15-star diamond to keep me there. And that's not reality. It's not reality with any businesses. I had a conversation with one of my diamonds today. And we were just talking about, the struggle to remain diamond if you only have 2 emeralds, because you cannot depend on those people to keep you diamond forever. You have to constantly be finding people who are excited to work this business. So ask yourself that question. If I were my own boss, which you are, would I fire myself? So let's talk about this first tip that I have, and that's all about mindset in taking action with your business. There is honestly nothing better than seeing a new coach that starts to post immediately in the team pages and in the trainings. Whether you're, having tons of questions, which I think is a great thing as well, or maybe you're sharing inspiration, tips and tricks that are working for you. This is when you see people showing up for their business who are going to run with this. And then you also can see who's really going to hold themselves back in this business, who's going to be about it and who's going to talk about it. So if you're someone that's nervous about opening up and sharing, asking questions, giving feedback, we beg you guys to change your mindset, because a leadership mindset has to start in the beginning. And your team needs to see you that way early on. So if that's something that's outside of your comfort zone, I'm going to encourage you guys to really eat that frog and go for it. And if you have not read Eat That Frog, you definitely need to. The other thing is just being present and showing up. And it's very obvious when someone is showing up for their business versus talking about having shown up for their business. It's okay, maybe you don't always comment or like things in the team pages. That's okay. But if you're someone in the group who has great things to say, we want to hear from you. And that shows your true leadership. That shows that you're going to take things into your own hands. It shows the upline coaches who to reach out to have help with team events and team calls and things like that. So, having these team pages is already a little bit like hand holding, but I'm going to tell you guys that you have to take things into your own hands and do what you want to do with this business, because your upline cannot constantly hold your hand, and having these team pages, like I said, is already a little bit like hand holding. So really focus on getting information, sharing that information. And so I want you guys to start out doing that early on. Here's the other thing is I see people talking about it and wanting to be about it. But here's the thing. You can't compare yourself to someone else and say, well, they've got this kind of team, or they are always hitting Success Club, or they have this following, or they have that. Comparison is going to eat you alive in this business if you allow it to. We all started from the exact same place. Those who are succeeding in this business and those who have not taken off in this business is very much just about getting outside of your own head and deciding to stop telling yourself that you can't do this or you can't do that, and know that you have to build your business. And there is actually a lot of power in that. So be open to creating templates, to creating meal plans for your team. Share those, because what you do needs to be something that can be duplicated for your team. So don't be shy, show that you're a leader. If you have coaches on your team and you're not active in the coach groups or you're not consistent on social media, guess who's going to follow your lead with all of that? It's going to be your coaches. And that can be unfortunate if you're not consistent in your business. So be the coach that you want your coaches to be, much like be the employee that your boss would want you to be. So make things that are useful for your teams, ask questions and have your coaches do the same. Another thing that's really important, and it goes along with this, is just attitude and personal development. And you are going to hear personal development drilled into your head several times. But guess what is immediately noticeable to me when I chat with someone and I see them posting in a team page? Either it's really noticeable that they are doing personal development, or it's very noticeable that they have not done a lick of personal development in a really long time. And I used to be someone who I thought, I'm just going to do away with that part because who has time for personal development? And so if I had 10 minutes to work the business, personal development was just not making the top of the list. And I hate that I had that mindset in the beginning, because I now see the importance of that. I know that as leaders, I'm constantly filling everyone else's cup up, and we're always trying to build everyone else up and send positivity and encourage them. But what happens is we're sharing all of these things, but we have to be filled up and we have to be fueled first and foremost. So if we're not putting ourselves first, motivating ourselves, gaining knowledge ourselves, we can't possibly be the leader that we need to be to other people, plain and simple. So I'm going to encourage you guys to pick up a book. Don't be like me. Don't be the girl that doesn't need personal development. Get a podcast, a YouTube channel, and just dive in. Because I think once you do, that you actually will have more value to give to people. If you're one that's talking about it and not being about it right now, it's probably because you don't have a lot of value, you feel like, to give to people. And guess what? You do. But you have to find that value. You have to find that within yourself. You have to find that motivation yourself. And so once you do that, you're going to have more value to give to, your posts, to your followers, great tips to give to your team. All of that is going to come full circle. The other thing is your presence on social media. Okay. And I've talked about this several times, and this is much like, are you the person that would fire you? If you are looking at your Instagram, your Facebook, your likes page, whatever your social media platforms are, all of the above, and looking at who you come off as on social media, are you consistent, first of all? And are you someone that I would want to follow, you would want to follow, other people would want to follow? Are you an influencer? I'm not saying you need to post 1 million times a day. That's not something that needs to happen in order for you to be successful. But you do need to have consistency in your posts, and you need to have value in what you're posting. So posting once or twice a day, and then, commenting on things, being involved, being seen in people's news feeds is very important if you're someone like me who has chosen to build your business 99.99% on social media. If that's it, then you are an influencer. You are trying to build your brand. And that's very, very important. That needs to be something that you are sitting down and doing daily, for sure. So how's your attitude? Is it something that other people would find inviting and valuable, or are you negative a lot? And maybe you honestly don't even realize that you are. But if you go back to your pages and just take a look in from an outsider's perspective, be honest with yourself. I think you're really going to be able to get an idea very quickly of who you are on social media. So think about whether or not, your posts are something that would draw the customer in. If you were a customer, I'm looking for something new. I'm looking for a coach because I already know what Beachbody is. So I'm looking for a coach and I'm looking to get in a group. Are those daily posts something that are going to attract them to you? Or does your negativity or your posts happen to draw people further away from you? How genuine are you in sharing your journey? Or is it completely obvious that you're trying to make a sale? Do you talk about your journey and share you? Or are you just pushing the products constantly or mimicking maybe another coach that's not true to who you are? Take a look at that and see, is my page an ad for Beachbody? Or is it 80% me and my life and 20% about my business? Because those things really do need to be looked at, and looked at really early on. And you have to encourage your own coaches to do that as well, so they can see what can be tweaked. I remember going back when I was first a coach and just looking at things that I had done. And there were so many things, you guys, that I did terribly. Like, it was failures. But we honestly, and I actually posted about this today, we have to fail in order to succeed. So if you're afraid of failing, you cannot succeed. Like, it's not going to happen. And my dad, he was the biggest skeptic of all time of this in the beginning. He once said to me, like, when my anxiety, I was a teacher, and when my anxiety was through the roof, he was like, what would you attempt to do if you knew you couldn't fail? And I said, a whole freaking lot more than what I'm doing now. And I'll tell you that you are meant for big things. Like, you are able to do this, but you have to take ownership in your business. And I will tell you one thing that I always did do from the beginning. Out of all those mistakes that I made, I did get active very quickly, and I was a present in the team pages, and I was present on Facebook. I shared, I want you guys to know, pursue your dreams. Oh, Siri's talking to me. She thinks I'm talking to her. Sorry. Pursue your dreams. See yourselves as diamond coaches, star diamond coaches. I hope that you guys see yourself as that now, whether you are or not. You should already be posting as though you are. That includes social media, coach groups. You want to share as much as you can right away, and you can learn on the way. You don't have to have all the answers. So if you're afraid of that, that is an excuse. That's not taking ownership in your business. When I was a new coach, myself and my newer coaches, we were on the same ride together because we were all hustling to get to Diamond. We all had big visions. We wanted Premier. We wanted Elite. Like, there were just different goals that we had. And so we really kind of became little success pod, and we would brainstorm together. And if I didn't know, I was very honest. I don't know. Like, let's Google it and find out. And we did. And so it was just actually a really great bonding experience as well. So don't be afraid of having to be perfect. The other thing is being able to duplicate. And I talked a little bit about that earlier. And that means that you're making it easy for your team and your coaches to duplicate what you're doing as a successful coach and as a leader. When I look at my team page and training, I want to know that my coaches can take valuable information away from those documents to help make things easier for them, so that they can work smarter and not harder. Because, our time is precious. And so this business needs to be something that's duplicatable. We're working in pockets of time or power hours. And so I want to make sure that what I'm doing is allowing my coaches to be set up for success. So make sure that what you're doing is something that can be easily translated down the line. Now, what I will say is take time to find out genuinely who you are, because the last thing that you want to do is to be copying other coaches' posts and work. Begin by being you and sharing with your team what your daily power hour is or whatever. But it should be something that's just not so overwhelming that a busy new coach doesn't think that they can live up to it, if that makes sense. The other thing that goes along with taking ownership is visualizing and sharing what you want for your business, and sharing that to your followers or to the people that are in your coach groups, your team. Put it out in the universe. Like, what is it that you really want from this? And if you haven't made a vision board or goals monthly or anything like that, you guys need to make that a priority and do that, and make that part of your personal development, if that's where you want to take that chunk of time out. If you're not Emerald yet, make Emerald happen for yourself, and it begins with just seeing how you're going to get there, writing it down. And then the hopes is that, we're figuring out that 2 coaches is totally doable. I can do that because I'm running challenge groups. I've got these great challengers. They have great results. They want to become coaches. And then once you do that, it's like you just tell yourself, I'm going to do this over and over and over again. And once you hit Emerald, it's like you move on and just hit Emerald again. And it was really as small and as simple as that. And before you know it, you're hitting those big goals. So, if you want to see yourself maybe at Summit, okay, maybe you're visualizing, I don't know, how far are we? It's March, April, May, June, July, 4 months out from Summit. So in 4 months, you can work these in like quarters almost. Where do you want to see yourself? Where do you visualize yourself? Think of the details. I know I was on a call one time and they were like, visualize what you're wearing, your team being there, everybody hanging out together. What are you thinking when you're backstage? People cheering you on when your name is announced. Visualize what you will be and who you will be at that point. What kind of leader, what rank, what's your income going to look like? You have to do that in order to see the possibilities, or you just let yourself sit in a mediocre state. And if you want more than mediocre, you're going to have to go after it. You're going to have to be the coach that you want your coaches to be. Do that daily. It can be in the shower, it could be before bed, when you're saying your prayers, during your power hour, whatever, but try it and just see if your outlook on life really doesn't change because you're changing the way that you look at things. The other thing is having goals. And we talked a little bit about that just now, but having goals by quarter, maybe by life event, by holidays sometimes. So for example, where do you want to be with your rank and income by, for example, Beachbody is very good at working at almost at like a quarterly thing. So Super Saturdays, Success Club trip, Summit, leadership, like it's all very much almost in these like quarters. So you can say, what do I want my rank and income to be by the Success Club trip? Then again at Summit, and then again at leadership, and then again at the new year, what do you want it to look like? And if you need to, reverse engineer that to see what you need to do to hit those specific goals. The last thing you want to do, and this is someone who's not taking ownership in their business, is say, well, I hope I hit X rank. Hope, first of all, instead of will. And then there's no plan. You have to have a plan. You have to say, I'm going to be diamond. I'm going to be making $500 a week from my team, but how am I going to get myself there? Well, I need 8 coaches. I need 2 emeralds. My team volume needs to look like this. So here's what I need to do. And you need to give yourself those steps. And that way you can move your business forward. And the other thing is, if you're someone who hasn't taken ownership in your business right now and you're on this call and you're like, well, crap, I've not taken ownership in my business, that's okay. But what is it that's holding you back? What is it from being out there and putting yourself out there? Because the thing is you really have to start treating your business as a 6-figure business long before it's a 6-figure business. If you're afraid of social media and getting crickets, when I first started post on social media, I'll tell you, I had like, if I would do a shout out for my team, I would do public recognition and I would get like 5 likes on it. And it was probably the 5 people that I was shouting out and then like my mom. And that's just the way that it worked, because people wanted to see that I was consistent. They were watching for a very long time, and they wanted to know that I was serious, that I wasn't going anywhere in the business. And had I let that get me down, then who knows where my business would be. Had I not taken ownership in that and continued to do what I needed to do, instead of letting excuses and fear slip in, who knows what would happen. So you can't hold your own self back. You have to decide now, I'm going to invest in my business, and my coaches and my challengers. So if you are on this call and you feel like I need to do a better job of publicly sharing what coaching is for me, then that is something that I would love for you to do that. Do that this week. Tag us, tag Mindy, tag myself, tag your upline. We will support you, but it's about doing those scary things. It's about just doing them, hitting post, walking away. Because here we are creeping up on spring and summer, and people need us more than ever. People are thinking about their health more than ever, because now they're not able to hide behind the big baggy sweats and that sort of thing. And so we have all of these releases coming out. We have the beach bars, the 2B mindset, the new fitness programs, the VIP early access that's coming with BOD. And all of these people are going to want their hands on this. And those people are going to go to the website and order. And those who don't have a coach are going to want to find a coach. So be the coach that they would want to be. Step up right now in your business and commit to being the coach that you would want to be. A couple things that I will share with you guys as I end this is just, I want you to see the importance in celebrating others' success. The fourth vital behavior is recognition. And that's a new vital behavior since I became a coach. But there's some kind of quote, something about there's enough sparkle to go around, sprinkle it everywhere. Building someone else up is not going to bring you down. Being a light for others when they hit a big goal is not going to dim your light. So remember, you guys, we are a team. I mean, I've got like Mindy and some other coaches, and then Brandy and Stephanie Chico and all these, and then there's me. And like, there's so many, we are so interwoven, if that's the word. But we are also all a team. And so everything that we're doing is affecting every other person. And, I don't know about you guys, but I do have some people on my team who dread Thursdays because they play that comparison game every single Thursday. They see rank advancements happening, and instead of going in and congratulating those people, they hide behind the screen and ask themselves, why are they not there yet? Why am I not at that rank? We signed up around the same time. Don't do that. It's going to drain you. Like I said, comparison is the thief of everything in this business. And we can all succeed, but it's going to be better as a team. So start celebrating other people's success. Start thinking of Thursday as a great thing, because guess what? Your time for celebration will come, and you are going to want people celebrating you and having your back when that time does come. And lastly, you guys, I want you to remember to be present using your past. Take what you've been through. See the rainbow through all of that stuff. Maybe you feel like I'm not taking the reins on my business because I don't feel like I'm a good enough coach, or could be a good enough leader, or could be a good enough inspirer. I want you to realize that you have a rainbow through all of your story. Maybe you have things that you've been through. Maybe you've had things in your business happen to you that you've been through. But I can promise you, I've been there. Everyone's why is probably pretty powerful. But take those negative things that have happened to you and use them to drive your business. Be vulnerable. Share troubles that you faced. Talk about how you overcame those things, how this helped if it's the case, and use coaching for good and to be a positive light now. You have a powerful story that is capable of changing so many lives, but you just have to decide that enough is enough. You're going to start being the person that you wanted to be in the beginning with this business. You are not going to be the coach that your boss would want to fire. And you're going to do this. And that's it. So I thank you guys for joining me on this call. I appreciate you, Mindy, for allowing me to hop on and host tonight or today. And I look forward to getting to know some of you guys, hopefully seeing a lot of you at Summit, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.